Do you remember the movie Gaslight? Yeah, I'm sure most of you don't. I don't remember it, but I know about it. It was about a guy who marries a wealthy gal, and he wanted to drive her crazy because he wanted her to go crazy so he could inherit her wealth. So he would, in the middle of the night, because this was the turn of the century, he'd go up on the roof and he would shake the gas lights. And she'd lay in bed and see the lights shaking. He'd sneak back downstairs in bed. She'd wake up in the morning. She'd say, honey, did you see the lights shaking? He goes, what? You know, the lights were shaking. He goes, no, they weren't. So then what he would do is he would take his clothes and go put it in her drawer, her dresser drawer. And then he would say, honey, have you seen my clothes? She goes, no, I haven't seen it. He goes, well, my clothes are missing out of the drawer. She goes, I don't know anything about it. And then he would go to her drawer while she's standing there, open up the drawer and say, well, look, there's my clothes in your drawer. You must have put them there. He's talking to her. You must have put them there. So after a period of time of doing all these crazy things, she started not believing her own faculty. She didn't believe what she saw, and she started losing her mind. And this is what's happened to us. We have been gaslighted by the devil. As a matter of fact, that movie in 1944, put up that poster, Jared, that movie in 1944, Gaslight, birthed the term gaslighting. It actually was not, it wasn't a definition until the movie came out, and it actually birthed the term gaslighting. Folks, we have been gaslighted. They tell you that what you see is not really there, but then they tell you what's not there you should be seeing. Big tech, be careful what you say. You'll be censored. You'll be history. You know, the media, the news, what you see on the news is not really what you get. Meanwhile, you should be seeing and hearing things that are the truth, but then they go hide. Why? Because they don't want the truth. See, these people hate truth. It's like spiritual kryptonite and their deviant agenda to silence you and I. What's the worst? Is it big government? No. Wall Street? No. Hollywood? No. Religion. Yeah, religion. That's why we're in this mess. I didn't say relationship, I said religion. Now, religion, what is it? It's simply like a compromised relationship with God. That's religion. When you compromise your relationship with God, you end up with religion. Which means there's really no relationship at all because it's based on righteousness. Truth. We can actually know the truth. You know how you can tell you know the truth? I can tell you that you're on the path to truth is when the devil's trying to shut you up. You say, David, I know it's big tech. You know, that's the problem. No, religion doesn't have to be someone. It doesn't have to be a church. It doesn't have to be even a denomination. Simply put, religion is compromised Christianity. Anytime you compromise, you have religion. But there's a shift going on, an awakening. People are waking up from this lethargic sleep and from a zombie state, and they're questioning things, and they're like this election and big government, big tech, and they're starting to, wait a minute, there's something wrong with this. But my question is, where are you and I going to be as they're waking up? Because this is a perfect opportunity for you and I, God's children, to get right to the point, no compromise. We legalize Jesus, legalize Jesus. We don't think about what we say. We let the Holy Spirit come in us and speak. And if we offend, we offend. But I'd rather offend man and defend God than offend God and try to defend men. Let's forget about it. Forget about the political correctness. There's no such thing in the Supreme Court of God. Listen to me, you and I declare tonight that we are going to drain the religious swamp. There's big-time preachers with their big-time churches, with their book deals, spewing religious rhetoric, making their millions of dollars. But it's time to drain that religious swamp. The preachers, the churches, the organizations, all who are in bed with the enemy. Why? Because you and I, are God's children. And if we don't stand up to the plate right now as people are going through this awakening, if we don't stand up to the plate and we say, here is the living God, this is what it's all about, our children, our grandchildren will get sucked up into this monster. They'll get dragged down into this religious swamp. That's why we are where we are now, is because our forefathers, and I'm talking about your mom and dad, my mom and dad, our grandparents, and I love them, don't get me wrong, but they dropped the ball. They didn't stand up. They compromised. And that's why you and I are suffering now. That's why our kids, and it stops right here. You draw the line. You say, no more devil. I've had it. It's over. I care about God more than I care about my own life. But here we are at the gathering. David Heavener Live. We're on different platforms God has given us. And what do? We talk about things the church refuses to talk about. Matter of fact, Jared, put an article up. I want to go to this article talking about abusing children, murder. This is gaslighting, okay? And check this out. Ohio legislature passes a bill requiring humane burial for aborted babies. Now, folks, listen to me, and I want you to see how insane this has gotten. And I'm praying to God tonight as he looks down, because I know his heart is broken. Abortion centers would be required to provide options and pay for the dispensation of the child or face first-degree misdemeanor charges. Well, what could they be talking about? Columbus, Ohio, December the 8th, 2020, Ohio lawmakers approved legislation that would require abortion facilities to either bury or cremate the remains of the preborn babies they kill, ensuring they will not dispose as a medical waste. Senate Bill 27 would enable women seeking abortions to choose one of the two methods of final dispensation, Catholic News Agency reported, with an abortion facility having to choose one or the other if she opts out not to. The abortion facility would be responsible for the expenses unless the woman opts out for an alternative means. Any facility that fails to comply with would face first-degree misdemeanor charges. The woman would face no charges. Let me get this straight. We are murdering a human being, and if you can't give them a correct burial, they'll write you a parking ticket. People have lost their mind. And I'm asking God right now to forgive us, because we're standing into the face of the enemy. We're saying no more. No more. It's murder. This is insanity. Is Pastor Mike with us? I know we're in his neck of the wood. He may not even be with us tonight, but he's in Ohio. I was going to ask him. Okay, there is one thing about Ohio. At least, I don't know how to say this. It's really kind of insane. Is you're murdering a baby, but the government of Ohio, God bless them for that, says, no, but you got to give them a proper burial. Well, it doesn't make any sense, folks.
The time has come for God's people to take a stand. Legalize Jesus. Text 71777 the word chosen to 71777 or go to davidhevner.tv/chosen. Join the movement.